Welcome to Studio 5. We have lots to get to, so let's fire up the countdown clock and begin our weekly look at the top 5 headlines in the world of uplifting entertainment news. At number 5. Bieber moves from Hailey Baldwin's boyfriend to her husband.
People magazine is reporting that they got married last Thursday at a New York City courthouse.
I'm surprised at this because we know very clearly they had no plan to get married until next year. So it seems like they've changed their mind.
There's speculation the couple will still have a formal wedding ceremony in Canada. Hailey's uncle offered some words of wisdom to Justin from the Emmys red carpet.
You gave some really great advice to them about keeping marriage work. You have to spend time together.
I still want to spend time with my wife. Do you still want to spend time with me, honey?
At number 4, and speaking of the Emmys.
Really? Say word.
There were many memorable moments this year.
You wonder why I don't like to call you my girlfriend? Because I want to call you my wife.
But the most memorable came when Glenn Weiss accepted his award for directing the Oscars.
Will you marry me?
And proposed.
It became a thought, and the thought picked up steam as we got here. This was coming. It just, the timing just lined up very nicely.
That begins the countdown and brings us to the sit-down. Anthony Evans is the son of a famous preacher, a recording artist, and perhaps you know him as a contestant and then a coach on the hit NBC show, The Voice. The gifted singer is now an author.
Your love never fails, it never gives up, it never runs out on me.
Those are more than just lyrics for singer Anthony Evans. They're a life lesson he's sharing in the pages of Unexpected Places. Thoughts on God, faith, and finding your voice.
Higher than the mountains that I face.
I'm reading your book, Unexpected Places, on the plane, and I'm literally starting, as I start, going, what? Where are we going? So is that how the mind works?
Which when you just did that, that's a glimpse of how my mind works. So when I got asked to write this book, I was like, do y'all know how my mind works? Are y'all sure? But yeah, just the introduction is just a little glimpse on how many moving parts there are going on in my life. So
amazing.
I'm glad you pushed through that because your mind obviously doesn't do that.
Like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
My children probably, but not. The other surprising thing is that you love farming and animals. I didn't know that about you.
That was a huge part of my life all growing up. That was my catharsis. I mentioned in there a guy named Tim Alderson who he literally he's only second to my father in my life as it relates to influence, because he taught me how to work with my hands and work with horses and work. That was just my thing, and nobody would ever guess that, but now you know. Yeah.
And in your mind, your vision for yourself was to be a veterinarian.
Mm-hmm. That's the direction I thought I was going. Yeah.
What changed?
My father. Actually, both my parents, my mom and my dad, heard me singing around the house.
I'm going to ask you to turn your Bibles to Genesis chapter 3.
Anthony's dad is world-famous preacher Tony Evans. His sister is best-selling author, Bible teacher, and actress Priscilla Shirer.
So you didn't see your voice as something that would make a career for you, make a way for you?
Mm-mm. No, I was 18 and I had people around me say, if you want to do this, you could do this. This could be your job. And I was like, what? I just didn't, because everybody around me sang. You know what I mean? When you grow up in a church like mine, it's just everybody sings. And so you don't think about certain little things that were happening. Like I remember in choir rehearsal, the director at times would be like, Anthony, sing the part. Everybody sing what Anthony just sang. But I would not think that was, I just thought, oh, I just heard it. I caught on before everybody. I didn't, I just didn't think it was a big deal.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too.
That not big deal voice landed Evans a spot as a contestant on The Voice.
The show hadn't even come on yet. So I get a phone call telling me we need you in LA like for 3 weeks starting right now. And I was like, whoa, I can't. I have stuff to do. And the director of casting, she's hilarious. She didn't understand that what this was, what I do, and she was like, "It's singing at church. Can you get somebody else to sing at church? Like, what do you mean? Like, why would you not be able to come here because you got to sing at church?" You know, and so she didn't understand that. She was like, "Cancel it," you know. But so I couldn't do that. Couldn't go to season 1. Ended up being asked to come back for season 2, which I was grateful for because at that point the show was huge. I thought the show wasn't gonna be what they were saying because on the phone she was like, "This is gonna be the biggest show on television." It sounded like a used car salesman, you know, like this show ain't gonna be nothing. But then I was like, "Oh, you were lying," you know. So I got to go back, and it was a eye-opening experience that broadened there's so many different lessons I learned on camera, but most of them were off.
Me being on the show is kind of like a crossover for me. You know, it's different level, but me crossing over into a different genre of music, and I've watched y'all both just go into different genres and do great at a lot of them. Do you have anything you'd say in regards to that? Like any advice you'd give me in regards to, I'm jumping into this head first? Like,
I love the many lessons that you share in here, but people would be surprised to learn that in light of all you do, when we see you in front of the camera, smiling, happy, there was a period where there was sadness and depression, literally at the thought of the fact that this is what you had to do.
That happened before The Voice, actually. I was dealing with so many internal things going on. One of them, broken engagement happened, and I had to go lead worship the next day somewhere. And on top of that, I'm a very emotional person, so my emotions rise up to the surface before anybody. I look like a football player. Some days I have the emotions of a ballerina, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of the way I'm built as an artist. So I had to go lead worship when I was broken. I remember telling that audience everything that went on because it was the night before. So I'm like, "God, I can't get on the stage and sing about your faithfulness because right now I don't feel like you're faithful." And it felt like an imposter, you know? So I told the audience everything that was going on in my life. I think I actually got up on stage, grabbed the microphone and said, "I don't feel like doing this." I said it in the microphone. And my road manager was like, "Well, that's it. It's over," you know?
Show's over.
Yeah, so I told them what was going on, and some people, I'm sure, were like, "This is too much. Can you just lead worship?" But by the time I actually got to really make eye contact with the audience, there wasn't a dry eye in the room because I was worshiping in spite of the way that I felt. And so that's one of those moments where God took a very dark time, and that was a very dark time in general in my life, and used it in a miraculous way that night at that concert.
Anthony's book, Unexpected Places, is available right now wherever books are sold. And he'll be back later in the show to perform some music from his latest project, Back to Life.
These creatures were here before us. And if we're not careful, they're gonna be here after.
In case you missed it, a look at Chris Pratt's blockbuster movie.
It's bigger and better and more exciting. And yeah, man, it's Jurassic.
Welcome back to Studio 5. The countdown of the best headlines and uplifting entertainment news continues now. At number 3. Destiny Child's Michelle Williams and fiancé Pastor Chad Johnson are at work on their new reality show for the OWN network.
We are in the studio getting ready to shoot their theme song for Chad Loves Michelle.
And producers are sharing some fun behind-the-scene moments on the journey to complete the production.
I love it. I can't wait for the Saints to see you doing that. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah. You see what your husband is doing? That's your husband. I'm worshiping. Ha.
At number 2.
Hold too deep, because love is not deeper still.
Gospel music maker Kirk Franklin shares on social media his journey to forgive his dying biological father, who gave him up for adoption. He writes, "I took my hate for him and used it as fuel to be the best father I could be for my own. But what I did wrong is I never took that fuel and turned it into forgiveness." He asks, "How can I preach what I don't practice?" So I flew to Houston yesterday to do that. It's painful, it's a process, but how disappointed I would have been in myself for this man to leave the earth without being forgiven. And with that, there is only one more remaining headline in the countdown. This year's summer box office included Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom And it's still playing actually in some theaters, but it's also now available on DVD. In case you missed it, here's another Studio 5 First Look.
Do these animals deserve the same protections given to other species?
This movie starts at a crisis point. There is an extinction level event that is going to occur on the island.
I know why we're here. A rescue op. Hey, Owen. Save the dinosaurs from the island that's about to explode. What could go wrong? Blue, come with me. You know you can't stay here. Pack your men up right now. That's when we realized that these are not good people that we're dealing with.
It was all a lie! The first part of this movie is classic Jurassic, and then you go into this far more dangerous world.
We arrive at this mansion where they're auctioning off these animals to the highest bidder.
What is that thing? They made it.
The Indoraptor.
They're gonna sell them.
Not Blue. They need it for something else.
We get to learn a lot more about Owen and his very special connection with Blue. Easy. The Jurassic movies have always been movies about science and imagination merging, thrillers with dinosaurs chasing people around. But at the core of it, the heart of it, they're relationship movies about people.
Hey, girl.
I say we shut this whole thing down.
We hope that people come out with their imaginations expanded of what a Jurassic Park movie can be.
These creatures were here before us. And if we're not careful, they're gonna be here after. Welcome to Jurassic World. It's bigger and better and more exciting. And yeah, man, it's Jurassic.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is available right now wherever DVDs are sold. Listen closely. That voice you hear is Tori Kelly. She's honoring her gospel roots in her new project, Hiding Place. The collection features guest artists Lecrae, the Hamiltones, and Anthony Hamilton. But what's playing in my ear is Just As Sure, her collaboration with Jonathan McReynolds.
Still to come.
Say I need you.
Anthony Evans shares his amazing voice in Studio 5.
And welcome back to Studio 5. We have made it to the final headline in this week's countdown of uplifting entertainment headlines.
At number 1. Country superstar Carrie Underwood releases her 6th studio album, Cry Pretty.
I feel like this is the only place that my soul can rest. I'm gonna cry, dang it!
And opens up about the ugly fall she suffered at home and 3 miscarriages.
I had always been afraid to be angry because we are so blessed. My son, Isaiah, is the sweetest thing and he's the best thing in the world. And I'm like, if we can never have any other kids, that's okay because he's amazing. And I have this amazing life. Like, really, what can I complain about? I can't.
Then one night, after what she thought was another miscarriage, she says she prayed like never before.
And for the first time, I feel like I actually told God how I felt. And I feel like we're supposed to do that. That was like a Saturday, and the Monday I went to the doctor to confirm another miscarriage. And they told me everything was great. And I was like, it hurt me. Not that he hasn't in the past, but maybe, I don't know, he hurt me.
Carrie, her husband and son will soon welcome another child. And then she'll begin the Cry Pretty Tour.
That wraps this week's countdown and brings us to a beautiful moment in the show. Anthony Evans is back in studio for this Studio 5 Sessions performance. Here's Anthony Evans singing See You Again.
I've seen darkness shattered by light. I've seen joy break after the night. I wanna see it again. I've seen tragic and hopeless days turn to stories of amazing grace. I wanna see it again. Oh, come, Lord, like a rushing wind. We are desperate for your presence. Revive us by your spirit within. We want to see you again. See you again. Ooh. I've seen laughter conquer the tears. I've seen strength rise to persevere. I wanna see it again. I've seen bodies ruined and frail rise in power, completely healed. I wanna see it again. Oh, come, Lord, like a rushing wind. We are desperate for your presence. Revive us by your spirit within. We want to see you again. See you again. Oh, come, Lord, like a rushing wind. We are desperate for your presence. Revive us by your spirit within. We wanna see you again. See you again. Oh, we wanna see you, Jesus. We wanna see you again. We remember all the great things you have done, but we believe that greater things are still to come. We remember all the great things you have done, but we believe that greater things are still to come. We remember all the great things you have done, Jesus, but we believe that greater things are still to come. We remember.
What a voice and what a gift. See You Again is just one track from Anthony Evans' Back to Life project.
And still ahead.
I feel it's right to ask you guys to join me for one last dance.
See why it's Sweet 16 for this basketball all-star.
And welcome back to Studio 5. Pictures freeze beautiful moments in time. So let's take a quick look at this week's Studio 5 snapshot.
I'm here to tell you, it goes by fast.
In this video, NBA All-Star Dwayne Wade announces his return to the Miami Heat.
I feel it's right to ask you guys to join me for one last dance.
Wade has spent more than 13 seasons of his 16-year NBA career with Miami. And with this one last dance, he's retiring at the end of the season. And that's this week's Studio 5 Snapshot.
With that snapshot, we are almost out of time for this episode. So here's a look now at what we're working on for you next week.
The new CBS drama, God Friended Me, is about an atheist
named Miles Finer, who accepts a Facebook friend request from the God account.
There's lots of buzz surrounding this new CBS show.
So, how does a preacher's son lose his faith in God?
You're telling him that God is watching over us? You know that's not true.
You don't think that what happened made me question my faith?
When I was 8, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. She went to full remission. The doctors couldn't even explain it. On the way home from the hospital, she died in a car accident.
And Studio 5 is taking a closer look at God Friended Me.
Be sure to join us for that story and so much more next week. As for this show, we're giving the final word to a man who lives to speak life to other people's dreams and make them come true. He goes by the name Billionaire PA.
I can remember being trapped inside of a negative environment that wouldn't allow me to dream, to the point that I had to set my mind free, to the point that I now dream so big, dream about me.
I mean, if you dreaming, mama, you dreaming about me. But I'm no longer selfish. I now encourage the world to please dream bigger than me. Most people can see, but not everyone has vision. I wrote that look standing on the Bay Bridge. And I looked at the ocean, that's what I saw. Other people saw water, I saw opportunity. I tell people, I love to make money. I'm gonna be a billionaire. I am a billionaire. I speak that into existence. But I focus more on not the flesh and the spirit of what God actually created me, which was to help people to speak their dreams into existence. Some people just need a mentor. They just need to be taught. That's all I needed. I just needed a mentor to teach me how to run a business, how to be successful, how to have the mentality of not being afraid to tell people that, yes, I do run my business to make money and to help people, and be confident with that.
That's a great final word from a man who went from sleeping on the streets to inspiring many. Thank you so much for watching this week's look at inspiring and uplifting entertainment. Until next time, make time to uplift someone else. Bye-bye, everybody.